We are live and recording. And thank you everyone again for showing up for our monthly stakeholder advisory meeting. I am going to begin with our slide deck presentation, and then we will get into our other presentation here for our interactive website. Well, thank you all. I'm glad that we're able to have this time. And as individuals come in, we will let them in and get those individuals caught up. We want to take a moment to just make sure that we have some brief housekeeping. Courtney has been in contact with most of you about all of the information that you needed. We did get most of the information from you all. Thank you to those of you who informed us that you will not be taking compensation due to a conflict of interest. So we do appreciate that. And we are also in the process of developing opportunities for, we have 10 stakeholders. We're reached out to secure a couple of more, so we're waiting to hear back from those individuals. I would put this out there if there's a recommendation that either of you would recommend for someone to be on this. This is an opportunity to either place the name in the chat. Myself and a consultant team, along with Rosie, we'll vet and do some due diligence and approve. But if you have recommendations, please, by any means necessary, we'll be more than happy to involve you in the process. All right, so for our agenda today, I want to take the good portion of the time. It won't be the entire meeting, but a good portion of the time to review the Queen City Clean Waters interactive website. We've been working on this for quite some time and just updating a lot of the little bugs and other things that are going on with it. And it's going to be an ongoing process, but we want to make sure that we run it by you all. And this is, kind of an opportunity to check it out, play with it. And again, we don't have to do everything today, but we would like for you to interact with it, take the survey, and we'll go through all of those things and provide some feedback before Friday. But it's live and it's fantastic. It works. And we had a few individuals use it. So we want to run it by the stakeholders and let you guys take some time with it. We'll have an overview of our public meeting schedule coming up. We're going to, one of the things, I call it a district tour. Well, one of the things we have to do in fulfillment of the the engagement plan by the Department of Environmental Conservation is hold a meeting in each of the council districts. This is due by September. However, we have a pretty aggressive schedule to get this done within the next couple of months. And so we'll talk to you all about that and get some feedback from that. And then we'll have any updates from you all. And before I get into this, I do know that, Walt, you have to leave a little early. So I wanted to open it up to you if you had anything you wanted to open with, or any announcements or anything that you wanted to present to the Stakeholder Advisory Committee.
Thanks, Sar. I think this is a good overview. Even though I probably will miss this part, it would be great to hear from our Stakeholder Advisory Committee members on just new news on their activities happening in their service areas. I think that'll be a constant goal that we'll make time for in future upcoming meetings to learn about the work that you're doing. But the interactive website just launched, so that's super exciting. The program team, or as you shared, is working to put together the public information meetings for these 9 council district meetings, talking about the Queen City Clean Waters projects, but also how to get involved as a as a stakeholder, as a contributor, and learning more about the community benefits, or excuse me, the community partnerships program that is behind the scenes getting put into place. And for next month's meeting, I anticipate that we'll have a bit more substantial updates to share with you, information on the community partnership program. So stay tuned for that. And then you're going to hear a lot about the projects. This is a decade plus initiative for Queen City Clean Waters. Those council district meetings will talk about the projects, but also thinking about opportunities for small businesses to get involved on the professional services side and the construction contractor side. We're also going to look to continue holding virtual open house informational sessions. So on the contracting and business side of things, community and stakeholders can learn about those projects and how they can play a role, whether as a prime or a sub-consultant. So general updates there. I think this is a great agenda, Art. I appreciate your team taking the lead on this. And if folks have any questions about the specific projects, information on the community partnership program that's in the works of being launched, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Art.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Walt. And also, while we're at it, Rosie, if I'll yield the floor to you, if you had any updates or wanted to communicate anything prior to going into the website.
Nope, I think Walt kind of captured the overall. I guess the other piece is that we are going to be while rolling out the overall, we're also moving ahead with a lot of there was several different individual projects. And so we'll have more details to come with that.
Ready. Fantastic. We've got a lot of wonderful things that's happening. All right, so I'm going to discontinue this so that I can bring up the website. All right, so here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had some theme music to go with this. Unfortunately, I don't. So just gotta.
Need drums?
I don't. You know, and actually, I thought about drums. I I took drums when I was in elementary school, and I can't play a lick of drums now. I couldn't even do a drum roll. It wouldn't sound right.
Well,
But
I'm trying to learn how to play the saxophone, Art. So maybe like next year's meeting, I can give you a nice solo to kick off the meeting.
listen,
Do you play?
This is good
I'm
stuff.
learning.
You're
Okay,
learning.
y'all, but by the time this stakeholder group is completed, I need a whole band here.
Oh my
I
God.
didn't, Stu.
Now I did play alto clarinet. I did play that. So I don't know. Back to our wind instruments. Yeah, we'll have a band. All right. So one of the things that the Hallmark firm does, and we communicate this to the consultant team, T.Y. Lin, and the Buffalo Sewer Authority leadership, is it's important when we're talking about engagement that it's equitable and inclusive. And you have a million different tactics, right? We got community meetings, we have events, we have programs, all of those other wonderful things. And the important part about that is you don't want to miss that element, that human conversation, communication, in-person element, your poster boards, your maps, your little stickies, your dots. We have done many creative things and will continue to do those creative things as the meetings call for them. But one of the things that's vitally important is being able to reach the broadest group of people possible And sometimes you're not able to do that, in community meetings and other, boots on the ground tactics and in-person tactics, because not everybody comes to the meetings and not everybody is a part of those things. However, making use of digital technology, digital devices, cell phones, tablets, iPads, laptops, where people can access information and be able to, not just access information, but participate. And so coming out of the pandemic, one of the things, we've done is, looked at a series of tools and say, how can we still have the same effect of engagement, the same effect of people participating without skipping a beat, doing it virtually. And so, I explored a million tools, well, not a million, but a lot of tools. And finally, come to land on a few to say, hey, these are things that we can incorporate into our repertoire and into our toolbox that will allow us to be able to seamlessly engage while having that same feel participatory effect online, on a website, and other tools that we use. I think we got a chance to see some of this when we had our in-person planning meeting and we used Mural, where people who are in virtual land got a chance to participate. So that's an example of that. So what this is this is a platform, a website that's interactive where people can participate. And I'll talk a little bit about the features in a little while, but the features that we have are for just kind of some general participatory opportunities. They will expand in the future as the program goes and grows, and there's opportunities for us to expand this. But this is a start. It's a basic site, and I just want to take you through some of the tools of it. So if some of you ask, why did you, do a whole website? BSA has a website. Well, the objective of this is a place where individuals can come and provide information and interact and learn more about the Queen City Clean Waters Project. And then, we have some tools where they're able to provide some information where we can then take that information back, put it into an analytic, and then help us to better prepare and apply various engagement tactics to the community. And it also helps us with the program as well. So I'll show you a little bit about that as we go through. So we have our BSA, kind of the Queen City Clean Waters logo here. We have our home button, which brings you to this screen. We have a link that takes you directly to the Buffalo Sewer Authority page. It is a separate page that it will take you to. The Queen City Clean Waters, where you have your mission, vision, and a little bit about the project. And then we have various languages. So we have a very diverse and thriving community here in Buffalo. So if there's someone who doesn't speak English, maybe Arabic, French, Portuguese, Spanish. So we have those options here for those to be able to, participate with the website in the language. So what we've done with the banner is, we've had some logos and, we had, a pic of the city of Buffalo in the background. And, we just had our graphic designer kind of put it all together. And it was approved by the Buffalo Sewer Authority that, this would be something that we could use on the website just to demonstrate, the Queen City Clean Waters and the impact that it's going to make in Buffalo in years to come. So this is our banner here. And so we have a link that says join our virtual community. And what you're able to do here is, by clicking on this, it'll take you to an actual link. And what we want to do is to be able to capture anyone who wants to stay up to speed with the project. So name information. We do want to capture their email. Phone number is optional, but the phone number is good because we do have in our database a text messaging system where we send text messages to keep everyone up to speed on our meetings that are upcoming, our district meetings, or any other events or programs that are going to be coming down the line. The other important thing about this is that we are able to, this helps us to build a community. but we also want to know what district and or neighborhood that these individuals are a part of. That's very important. And what we do is in the future, once we start getting more membership for the website and those who want to know more about the Queen City Clean Waters project, is that we can begin to map where individuals are participating from, what district, what neighborhoods. If they decide to share their block club, we can narrow it down to even the block club. But we want to over time, we want to be able to track the participants, who's coming from where, and then that will give us a better gauge of, if they want to participate, great. If not, that's okay. But if they do, we want to see where they're coming from, where they are, and how they're participating. So that helps us keep track of that as well. With the photos, we wanted to have a little bit of vintage. So we have some history here. And I always give a big thanks to Jamie, Jim Davison, who provided us with the aerials of, some of the photos here. And we just wanted to have an opportunity for people to begin to see, a site. We were going several ways with it. We wanted to show, kind of a timeline of one site, with a particular project. But I think, we see some of that here, and we have a really good opportunity to see a visual of an aerial. One of the important things and features on the site is a frequently asked questions section. With the frequently asked questions, we thought it would be important to have some very extremely basic information for residents. And we created this with residents in mind, all the way down to, what is it? And if you see the first question, why is Buffalo Sewer Authority doing these projects? These are real questions that came from residents. And with the frequently asked questions, number one, it's an education opportunity so that they can get some quick answers to some quick questions. But then also it's an opportunity to dispel any myths, to really put some things in context. So hopefully this is an opportunity that people will look at this and go through this. And by the time we have a meeting in any district, they already have some context as to what it's about, and some of their questions have already been answered. So that's another part about this. This will more than likely expand as we participate in meetings. We're going to continue to capture questions. And as we capture those questions, we're going to be adding those to this. The beautiful thing about this is we've collaborated with the engineers and some of the engineering consultants to answer some of these questions. That was important because it got the engineers involved in understanding what questions are out there, number one. And number two, it provided education to us, the engagement team. And number three, it provided a really good collaborative effort. Even till now that, just yesterday I had a meeting with Tatiana, and her team and a few other engineers, and we just really, dug through and started, with our case studies and a few others, just started thinking through an overall, outreach and engagement methodology that's going to encompass, the projects and communication, to the PMs and some of the subs and all of those other things. So, and this is a big part of that, making sure that we capture questions from the residents and then some of their concerns. One of the things we talked about is as we build this out, I'm anticipating, it may not get there, but I am anticipating that we will probably have an entire page of frequently asked question content, just so that, we are making sure we are listening to the residents, listening to the people, and making sure that we provide some answers to their questions and having that on this site. We got a little bit about the initiative. We got the mission, we got the vision, which is taken directly from the Queen City Clean Waters page from the Buffalo Sewer Authority. And then we get to the tools. And the tools were selected based out of simplicity. What can people participate in that's interactive, fun, and easy, and at the same time will give us the maximum feedback? It's something that they can participate in very quick, give some feedback that's interesting, and then allow us to be able to to capture that data and synthesize it. So the first tool that we have is the survey. And the survey questions were based in an engagement context. So we want to know, how can we provide information? What do people like to listen to most? And thanks, Walt, and thank you for providing the link in the chat. Thank you. What do people listen to most? Where do we get our information? And so the survey is very simple. The design of the survey, there's a lot of different questions and methodologies that we could have used in this survey. We decided to keep the bulk of the questions, which are only about 10 questions. We decided to keep the bulk of the questions multiple choice. And we thought about the people. You know, you go to a QR code, you pull up the QR code, you pull up the survey, and you're just going through the questions. Most people, we want to make sure that we capture that time span or that attention span. We wanted to make sure that the time was relatively short. So technically, this survey takes anywhere from, you know, I say 2 to 3 minutes. It's really 3 to 4, depending on, you know, how you go through it. Most questions are required. So if you have to actually select the answer in order to go to the next question, right? You can select all that apply. I'll probably mess up the algorithm, but I can, delete this. And these are real answers. So as we go through this, I'm not going to go through the whole thing now, but you have the link. I want you to take some time this week to go through the survey, and we'll go through the other two as well, and provide some feedback on the survey. Okay. But we wanted something to be very easy, very user-friendly for the participants. And if you have any questions, please just throw the questions out there, or just throw them in the chat and we can discuss as we go. But again, I didn't want to take a whole bunch of time on this. The second feature that we have is a community forum. And all this is, we start with a question: what do you think would work best to improve our stormwater system? And then we gave a few examples: green infrastructure, community initiatives, placemaking. And what it's designed to do is to prompt a response. And in that response, you have individuals that the response will display below, and other participants who come and provide comments. You can provide a comment, you can look at someone else's comment, you can like their comment, you can comment on their comment, reply to their comment. And what it's designed to do is to really create conversation in this forum. Now, this is regulated. So when someone provides a comment, it will come to myself and Katie Segura, who's monitoring the website. It'll come to us first. If there are any comments that are controversial, we will run them by the consultant team and Rosie and BSA to get their input. If Rosie says, hey, it's a go, it's a go. If it's a no-go, then the comment will not be posted. Now, there are some things that we just know should not be posted. If there are derogatory comments, if there's inappropriate language, those will not be posted. But for the most part, we wanted to make sure that we have a good flow of conversation and dialogue within this platform here. And this also gives an opportunity that you don't necessarily get in the survey, which is an opportunity to discuss and to have conversation and to express, hey, listen, you guys are going to be coming over on Sydney and Lark, and when are you going to start? Last time somebody did something over here was a lot of dust and those types of things. And that helps us. That informs us, and that allows us to be able to, have conversation internally so that we can be better prepared with what individuals are going to be facing. So this forum is just that. It's a forum of dialogue, and we can monitor the comments and keep up to speed with the project. And then the final tool is the social map, which is an interactive map that displays all of the projects throughout the city of Buffalo. So big kudos to Kate, who put the map together, took all of the shape files and put it all together along with the themes. Now, before we go talking about the themes, we had some creative ideas on themes to incorporate for the project. However, the site was limited and we weren't able to upload these themes so that we could use them on the map. We had to go with the themes that came with the site. So these are the themes that represents the projects. So if we go to our legend, this icon here, we have the offline storage, OLS, the SPP modifications. That's where you see kind of, the cross, real-time control, inline storage, green infrastructure, sewer improvements. So each one of these represents a project. You can control what you see and what you don't. We can add these themes, we can take them off, so on and so forth, on the map. The themes are geocoded to location. So wherever these are, for example, Sydney Street, near Fillmore, near Northland, this is the actual location, the coordinates. And so these coordinates were incorporated into the mapping system. And these are the actual addresses of the sites. Also with the map, we have various layers. According to council district, these layers, you're able to, oh, I'm sorry. Am I freezing? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
I can.
I can hear you.
Oh,
Fine.
Asantua, you're on mute.
It might just be my connection and that's unstable. It was choppy, so I was just trying. That's why I threw it in the chat if it was affecting anybody else.
Oh,
And it might just be my connection. I'm gonna just hardwire myself in. Keep going. I'm sorry.
okay. I got nervous there because I'm doing all of this talking and I don't have any water nearby. And you telling me that I'm choppy and I'm frozen and I just had a vision of doing all of this over again.
I'm sorry. It's just me. And please ignore me as I sip my water because now you made me.
Well, this is why I don't have hair, because I've been dealing with this. So we are able to add and take away the themes of the council districts where you can focus on one council district. We have our first meeting coming up in South Buffalo, coming up April 17th. We'll talk about that in a minute. So if we wanted to zoom in, we have South Buffalo. Okay. And we see the project that's here in South Buffalo. So, so this is an opportunity where you can actually go to, oops, sorry about that. You can go to a specific project and click on it, and it will give you a picture of the intersection or the location and a very, very brief description. And big kudos to to Kate and her communication and collaboration with the engineers and a consultant team who worked to get this, in a digestible form. One of the things that's going to be important when we're using this is that the language has to be super simple. And our explanation has to be super simple. And so when we think about the use of this interactive map, and I'll give an example of this because it will more than likely happen. I had a conversation with the board of block clubs last year. And one of the things that we talked about was when this interactive website is finished, want to come to the Board of Block Clubs and present it, but not just present it like we're doing here. We want to be able to have them to bring out their electronic devices and follow along and participate as we go, because we want to make sure that everyone can access this and participate with it. Where do I live? What project is going on around me? What is it? And what do I need to know about it? How can I get involved? So on and so forth. So we wanted to make it very, very, very simple. This is also a good tool for the elected officials as well, because they actually get to look within their district what projects are occurring and how to also stay informed with these projects and timelines, so on and so forth. Any questions? Okay. Feature that we have here is an interactive timeline. Well, it's not interactive. It's just really a timeline to keep everyone up to speed with the most immediate and upcoming initiatives for the Queen City Clean Waters initiative. So what we have here is we have the brand launch. We've launched and been having our stakeholder meetings. We have the Edison and Martha offline storage project, Sydney and Lark, which we have some meetings that are going to be coming up for those in the month of April. So these will be updated. And also we will have some of the more immediate information here. This timeline will not be fully loaded with every project and every detail and when things are going to be kicking off in 2027. This will be something of more immediate that we have. So as we begin to embark on our district tours or our meetings in the council districts, those will be on our timeline, and we'll have individuals who come to the website will have an opportunity to be able to see when is the next meeting, where is it going to be, and they can participate by attending. All right, so I'm going to stop there. That is the site in a nutshell. There are a ton more tools, but we thought these would be a good fit for where we want to start and how we want people to engage. Are there any questions, comments?
I would just say that it's very, from what I'm seeing, user friendly without being able to navigate it myself. So I think you and the team did a good job being intentional on the information and allowing people access to it. And I'm sure it's already been done, but this has been tested in a state of mobile, right? So on your mobile phone, it's working and the same user friendly.
Yep. Yes. Thank you. That's awesome. Very, very helpful.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to digging into this on my own computer and on my own, on my phone and playing around with some of the features. But I think you guys did a great job. It's awesome. The map looks great.
Awesome.
I love the idea of the survey, but then also being able to collect that broader kind of information and allowing folks to dig deeper and do it in a collaborative fashion. I think you nailed both, right? In terms of being able to get, if folks are only willing to give you the multiple choice version of what you're looking for, that's great, right? But if people really do want to dig in and give you deeper info, having those different vehicles, right, I think it's great.
And that was the idea, if I could just chime in really quick. When people are taking the survey, they don't want long responses. They want, boom, 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 and I'm finished, we're done. But you're right. The forum gives an opportunity to say something and participate in dialogue. That was the thought behind that. All right. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, please, I'm going to ask a favor. And that favor is to, We got the link to the website in the chat. Please, please, please make sure that you interact with it. Rosie has her hand.
Yes, I just got details. So I want to share them with the stakeholder group now. Buffalo Sewer turns 90 on April 8th. And we will be having our official groundbreaking for one of the Queen City Clean Water's transition projects. It's at Florida and Jefferson. There's actually already construction vehicles out there right now, but we will have an official groundbreaking on April 8th at 1 p.m. And also announcing our 90th and showing off our 90th year logo and having a press conference. And so the Stakeholder Advisory Committee is more than invited to attend. And if you're available, please do. Again, it will be at Florida and Jefferson, April 8th, 1 p.m. And as we continue to figure out the logistics on that, we'll follow up with everyone. But since I just got that in my email 3 minutes ago, I want to make sure I share it and pass it along.
Fantastic. Fantastic. 90 years old. Big congrats to the Buffalo Sewer Authority. And I think there's going to be some some marketing material that you guys are going to display with the big 90.
Yep, we've got a logo. It's exciting. So a lot of our materials over the next year will have that 90th anniversary logo involved.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Real quick, just want to get back to presentation here and so with that, one of the things that we're going to do, and I just wanted to display this is exactly what the site looks like, on the various devices. So we're going to take this on tour, along with celebrating 90 years of the Buffalo Sewer Authority, to the various districts. So between April, May, and June, we are going to be holding meetings at the 9 council districts. So in April, we will be in attendance at hosting a meeting in South Buffalo, Maston, South Buffalo, Maston, and the University District. With those 3, we want to make sure that we inform you all. We are securing dates for all of the council districts. We've identified venues and we're securing dates for all of the council districts. Courtney is handling that. And as we are doing this, we want to make sure that we are casting the widest net possible. So right now, the first date we secured was, Courtney's not on. So the first date we secured is April 17th in South Buffalo. And we are going to be notifying the council office, but we are also going to be identifying the businesses that are there, community groups, organizations. Our thought is for the council to get it out into their newsletters, to the neighborhoods. We're going to be notifying the Board of Block Clubs, making sure that they get it out in their PSA. But we also want to make sure that we are reaching those other organizations and business organizations and associations that are nearby, so that everyone can at least be informed about this district meeting. University District, it looks like we did secure the Girard Place. We are trying to settle on a couple of dates, so we're just finalizing some things there. And then it looks like we have, for the Maston District, we will be at Northland. And we are excited to be able to, I would say come back home, but I'm always somewhere within and around Northland. We'll be at the Northland Workforce Training Center in the central training room. And as the other districts and locations are secured, we will be notifying everyone. So here's where we need your help. Once we receive the marketing material, we'll share that both digitally and hopefully we'll get some hard copies. And if there are organizations and people that we just ask that you share within your network and let them know about the upcoming meetings and make sure that that they're informed about it. We'll be there. We'll be talking about the overall Queen City Clean Waters project. We'll be talking about the projects within the district. Kate and Annapurna from our team are working on district maps, finalizing the district maps individually, and each of the projects that are going on in those district maps, they will be on the map, and then there'll be an opportunity for people to ask questions. We'll have a poster board about the project, and then we'll have another poster board to capture any questions so that we can continue to build our frequently asked questions. But making sure that, this gets out is important. And we want to make sure that we equip you with the marketing material and other things to be able to get that out to your networks. I'll be spending a very brief time at these meetings talking about the engagement and outreach strategy, along with a very brief overview of the interactive website and how they can use it to identify and stay educated and participate in the project. Any additional questions about our district tours? I named it that because that's just, it's council district meetings. Okay. No questions. Well, what we will do is we'll get the schedule out to everyone once all of the venues are secured along with the dates. We would love for you to come out and participate, or when I say participate, just attend the meetings. If you have time and opportunity, I think it's the time for all of us to get educated and to know what's going on. And I think the power behind this as well is knowing the residents, knowing that there's a stakeholder advisory committee that is a part of this thing, that's leading and guiding and educating us, the consultant team and the project team, on the engagement process. That's going to be very important for them to be able to see that. And for them to know, if it comes up, for them to know that, we didn't just, choose, anybody out of the sky. We took a very thorough, concerted, detailed effort to make sure that we had the people who would be best for guiding us on this type of project. And we can discuss that process with them if need be. So we'll have those, and any one of those that you could make, great. If you can't make all of them, we understand that. But we would ask that you please, when we receive the marketing material, to share this with your networks.
Just with that also, if any members of the Stakeholder Advisory Committee have any specific work or projects within each of those council districts, we would be very happy and actually be beneficial if we can just also include that information when we go out to each of the council districts.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got about 12 minutes left, but this was the conclusion of our updates today. Is there anything from the stakeholders? Are there any announcements, any events coming up? Is there anything you have going on that we should be aware of? Are there any tabling opportunities? and you all may not be doing it, but you may know some who are doing it that we should be a part of. Let us know about those things. Are there anything that's going on?
I do want to mention just real quick, and Art, I know that I had emailed you about this maybe last week, but I've been in discussion with some of the urban ag community members in the area, and we have been really honing in on water access for urban agriculture. It's a huge community in Buffalo, and a lot of the food that's produced through these growers are distributed for free to individuals in Buffalo who are experiencing food insecurity. But there are challenges in order to do that. And one of that is like water access and barriers to that. So I'm putting in the chat a document and hopefully you get it. And if not, I can send it through email. But some ideas that maybe we could, through this project that we're working on here, like engage with the community in a little bit better and just be able to help out and, provide access or remove these barriers that are affecting some of our growers. And it can also, it could be workshopped, it could be, we can find different avenues to go about that. But just some ideas, some things that have been implemented in other cities that are very successful. So that could be something that we discuss maybe later on, or any thoughts and ideas from other individuals would be great.
Jen, it's funny that I think I may have mentioned this to you or not, but one of the items that we submitted to Rosie and the BSA team for the engagement plan was something like this. And I think this is an opportunity to meet maybe sooner than later, and to see if there's, Rosie, maybe there's something that, we can collaborate over the summer, if it's just something simple. But I think it's worth a meeting to see, between the Hallmark team and you guys, and Walt, to see what we can, some things we can do in immediate summer, but then really begin to plan what this looks like over the course of time.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. So I have Courtney kind of set up a time for us to meet. And we can do it virtually to include Walt and some of the other team members.
That'd be great. Either way.
Fantastic. Any other announcements? Anything? Yes.
Can't think of anything off the top of my head, but if I have something, I'll send it to you and Courtney because there's always something. We're promoting Food Truck Thursdays, but that's not until August for us. But there's some other things that aren't necessarily public, so I just need to make sure about those first.
There's nothing coming up. No Easter egg candy, chocolate.
Yeah, we don't do that, but there are some events that are being housed at Northwood, different community events. I know there's an NWB event, so I just need to make sure how they're registering doing that before I send that over. Because I'm, careful about what we send out that's Northlands and what we send out of people, who've paid for, space or are using the space here to come. So I just want to make sure of that.
Yeah, please. We're supposed to.
Just Jennifer, if you could provide where this is specifically coming from, and I see in this it does mention both the city-owned lots that are being used for gardening, but there's also other properties, and so just getting a better sense of where and what those properties are. I know I've had discussions with city real estate in the past with the gardens and on the city-owned lots, and there's outside of Buffalo Sewer Authority jurisdiction with the city-owned lots that real estate's trying to get back into production as mostly housing, but there's other properties as well. So
Yeah. So this is through the Greater Buffalo Urban Gardens or Urban Growers, and it's basically a committee that's made up of a bunch of urban agricultural growers. And you're right, when we were talking about like city-owned property, I mean, there's a lot of things going on there, and there that we have been told no on many occasions. But I think what we're looking for is an opportunity for resources or um, funds, something that can help individuals or even just advocacy, something that can help the urban ag growers in the area have access to water, whether that means like being able to provide the infrastructure that later on makes it more accessible for urban ag growers to have access to water. And again, this is something we can chat about more in detail.
Yeah.
I can also provide like the specific plots where a lot of these like big urban ag individuals are. There's also like a bunch of community plots. Um, so yeah, so the jurisdiction may fall into different hands. But I still think that there's a way that we can provide like the resources, programs,
So
funding
yeah,
off, yeah,
I'm
something that,
kind of seeing that because we've made this Buffalo Sewer Authority through this Queen City Clean Waters has made this commitment to the community. This could be a community betterment, but also there's also this other part of me that's looking for, is there a meeting to be had with not just Buffalo Sewer, but with Buffalo Water and with real estate, and trying to understand where these properties are and making that connection in addition to trying to support the work.
yeah, it would probably need to be, we may find ourselves needing to pull in more individuals. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, if there are no additional questions or comments, this is going to be really good. Thank you for sharing this again, Jen. And again, we'll get Courtney to set up a meeting to talk more about it. Okay. All right, well, if there's nothing else, thank you all so much for participating. More information will be forthcoming regarding stakeholder advisors. We'll keep you all posted on things to come for April. And any questions, please reach out to myself. Courtney has been the primary communicator, so she has all of this stuff together. So you can reach out to either myself or Courtney, and we will keep you all posted in the coming months.
Sorry, one more quick question, and I should have wrote this down. When will we receive the dates and the list of those meetings? Because I know we're going to share them. You said like within a week or so, or
Yeah, we should have I think we're just finishing up a few other dates. Lovejoy, Schiller Park, Senior Center. We should have a date very soon for that. But I want to make sure that we have the dates and venues for all 9 council districts so that we have adequate time to market and you can get it out to your networks. And so give me let's try to see, if not by the end of this week, maybe next week.
okay. Thank you, guys.
Before next Friday. I know events and things are coming up, and so we want to make sure that we just secure the dates while we can. All right. Thank you all so very much, and you have a fantastic day.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Take care,
Bye,
everyone.
guys. Have a good day.
Right.